When we left our last session, you were given a promotion. You'd been top gunned up to my only agent in the elite squad. And after a few days R&R to recover from the space dogs, you are summoned for your first mission by Freya Lindstadt. You've got your pure black jumpsuits now with your silver Mjolnir badges.
Not skulls, are they?
No, they're not skulls. They're Thor's hammer.
I've got a sort of black uniforms with silver stuff on. It's got a connotation that I can't quite put my finger on.
Yeah, it seems familiar and yet unfamiliar.
Yeah. And we are the good guys, right? I just need to get that clear again.
You're still, as far as you know, the good guys.
All right, I'm going to swing from that tree.
So you are summoned to the Mjolnir briefing room, which is down past everybody else. So you have to walk past all of the normal grey jumpsuited ones.
Not brown.
Not brown, grey jumpsuit. Like all the little plebs now. The plebeians who you walk past. Is there anything you would like to do first, or are you just happy to get ready and turn up?
Get ready? I will make sure that we've all the correct paperwork filled in.
I'll feed the parrot before we go.
Good point.
Yeah, you can take your parrot now because apparently, from what you've been able to gather, they've got the Van Mark II, and they need some field agents who are prepared to test it. I say prepared, but
Van trained.
Daft enough is the two words you're looking for.
Yeah, or disposable enough, maybe. Right, so you turn up at the briefing room.
Disposable?
Dependable, he means.
Aye, that's right. Yes, I knew we'd got the word wrong.
Right. You're not on the door. Freya shouts you in, and she looks extremely serious. She's got a tense set to her jaw. She waves, indicating to sit down at the various chairs in the briefing room, and they've got a large view screen on the wall in front of you.
I'll give her a double rimmer.
What does she think of me new uniform killed?
It's she does briefly sort of raise one eyebrow at the fact that you've taken the black jumpsuit and added a kilt to it, but she is
whatever you do, don't ask to look at the hem.
You're given a bit of leeway now that you're a secret agent. On whose side?
I will be the man in the golden talk. Demons are forever at the minute, Rich.
Demons are forever is great. Right, she flicks a remote and says, "This is the last TPT broadcast." She's got a heavy Scandinavian accent, but since I can't do a Scandinavian accent, I will just read.
Just think of Heidi.
I only saw the dubbed one though. So, well, I'm talking out of sync, but you can't see my lips.
All right, okay.
This is the last TPT broadcast of Valhalla Agent Sarah Burrows. No, that's Valhalla Agent Sarah Burrows, a local mystic on 08-24-63. Burrows is shown recording her last transmission. She looks like, the Blair Witch Project when they're all looking at the camera and they've got snot running down their face and they're like, "I am so scared." She says, "I think they're coming for me next. 2 weeks ago, they hung 5 women accused of witchcraft. 3 days ago, they piled stones upon a man. He took 2 days to die. Word came out that General Blair sailed from New York and has seized Boston. I sensed his dread peasants nearby already. I sense another as well. I think I found the source. Oh no, they're in the trees. They're coming. Send help." And then it goes, and the recording cuts out.
That doesn't seem very good, really.
Freya says, "Obviously, we need our top teams to go and rescue Sarah. They weren't available, however, so we're sending you. Just a bit of Wotan humour there to lighten the mood. She flicks another button on the remote, and the briefing comes up on the parallel. Parallel name Which World, designator 08.24.63, classification British Empire variation, cultural type North American, political type lawless, technological type pre-industrial. As she goes through the PowerPoint style presentation, she says the parallel's point of diversion is twofold. Firstly, the ancient astronomer Ptolemy died at birth, thus his direction-finding principles were not available to aid navigators in long sea voyages. Consequently, the New World was never discovered. Second, in 1588, the Spanish Armada defeated the Kingdom of England, with the Protestants being oppressed, innovation and free thinking stagnated. Technological advances were set back centuries. The Protestants, renamed themselves the Pure, went underground for the next 2 centuries, not only persevering, but gaining widespread popularity despite Catholic attempts to root them out. She pauses and flicks through different images on the view screen, showing current day pictures from the parallel.
That went a bit religious.
Yeah, it seems to be quite primitive in nature, at least 250 years behind 00, maybe more. Finally, when the abuse of the Inquisition grew too intolerable, the Pure rose up and overthrew the Roman Catholic Church in a short, bloody and merciless campaign. Catholicism ceased to exist almost overnight. Great Britain suddenly found itself as the seat of power of a Protestant empire that spread all over Europe. Exploration flourished and the New World was discovered soon after. Before long, the Union Jack flew in every corner of the globe. Many of the Pure felt called by God to convert to the New World savages, and so they began the colonization of the Americas. As Britain became more cosmopolitan... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm resisting the urge for me characters start singing Rule Britannia.
Tension rose between hardcore colonial purists and the ruling elite back home. Despite this, the Pure remained loyal subjects of the crown. She says, right, the mission. Sarah has a mystic talent that allows her to sense psychics, making her the perfect candidate for locating possible candidates for the Valhalla project. A week before this briefing, she'd reported she'd sensed powerful and unexpected psychic emanations coming from the south. Shortly thereafter, strange events happened. The populace thought the devil was loose in Salem. Sarah was told to investigate, but did not get a chance to report her findings before she was taken by the locals. We need you to determine whether this is disruptor incursion or the mad ramblings of a superstitious backward parallel. You must dispatch immediately. You need to report to Quincombe down in the Q branch. It's a test run for the Van 2. It should be able to transport you directly from London to outside of Salem, Mass, traversing both parallels and geographical distances in a single operation. The Van 1, you recall, had to be flown on a cargo plane to places and then travel afterwards.
It's definitely an upgrade, guys.
It's like getting broadband for the first time.
Don't mean broadband.
Broadband.
Oh, very good.
I thank you.
Yes, you're here all week.
I am.
Right, she says, we've tested it on automated settings and with some laboratory subjects, and it's worked just fine. I tested it myself to take a trip to Margate on 25.04.57 and treat myself to a lovely meal of fish and chips. You'll be perfectly fine. Just keep an eye out for anything strange, and I want a full report on how it goes when you return.
You don't have any chip wrappers in there, have you?
She says, no, we're all recycling parallel. So if you could report to Quincombe down in the science branch.
I'm on Capitan.
Right. So you head down to Q branch.
Yep. See the armourer.
Yeah, you go to see the armourer. You walk past like people shooting people with dart guns and vibro beamers and exploding ballers and that kind of thing. And you bump into Quincombe, who is standing next to the van. The van 2 looks almost identical to the van 1. It has the same shape and it's got wheels on the same, but apparently this one can roll forward at like 2 miles an hour, where the other one had to be pushed.
This is where they switch it to turbo and it goes at 6 miles an hour.
Yeah. You meet the Mr. Quincombe's assistant, Morty McAllen, and he says, "Oh, we've been waiting for you. We've got your disguises here because, as you know, you won't be using the Bifrost coffins for the first time in quite a while, and you will be you will have to, disguise yourself physically and use items only appropriate to the tech level of the parallel you're heading to."
I will require a hat with a buckle upon it.
You do. He has it. They've prepared suitable, hastily prepared costumes with buckles and feathers and boots and things like that. Suitable to a frontier land of the late 17th century. So if you imagine the Puritans in the town of Salem, that's what you're all going to look like. You're given a black powder weapon each and some kind of bladed weapon. They have a vast variety of weapons in the armory, so you can have whichever you like.
Is it a flintlock lock?
It is, yes.
Molotovs.
So basically, he hands you like almost military style a bunch of clothes wrapped up with a flintlock on the top and a sword belt. Hands them all out to you.
I would like a basket saber.
What you cut out there, Earl? You keep cutting out early
I would
again.
require a basket-hilted saber and a brace of pistols. And a black powder hunting rifle.
You can sort those out for you. Is there any other special requests that people would like?
Buckskin with a raccoon hat.
Good point.
2 flintlock pistols and a Baker's rifle, please. And I'll go for the lightsaber cavalry sword.
I'll have a canteen of cutlery.
Right. So like in one of those picnic things that you roll out and it's just like forks and knives and things.
Job just off the side of a horse.
Dynamite.
Oh, and a Bowie knife as well.
Right.
I sound very English. And there was a lot of English people around them times in America. They were called Americans, but they were essentially English.
No, you've been given cover identities that are agents that have been in England and have been just arrived fresh from England via Boston and looking to set up trade contracts at Salem's port. It's a common enough occurrence, and a couple of forged letters from the East India Company support the story. Right,
Well,
Quincombe says, Cathcart, I assume you'll be driving my new baby, and he pats the van. He's taking you to an area of the armory where there's like a football-sized open area.
Right.
That normally has like firing ranges and things in, but it's all been cleared out. And he says, I've cleared this area out specifically to show you. And he holds up this small communications device. It looks a bit like an elaborate fountain pen with a set of twist controls near the cap. He says, this is a new improvement on the Mark II. It's the beacon and remote activation device that you should use to bring the van back when you get ready. You don't no longer have to hide it under things and under trees and bushes and that. And he twists the cap and he goes, right, if you click it once, it sends it to 0, right? Yeah. The van goes, zzz, poof, there's a small puff of air as it disappears. And he says, marvelous, wonderful. Did you see how fast that was compared to the old one? It's like 300% faster at thingy. He says, and then if you twist this cap here, and he shows, and he says, and then click it twice.
Right, click it twice.
Right. I will write it down on a piece of paper in character.
He says, now, this can take up to about 10 minutes. He said, but because it's a short hop, we've programmed it for a short hop on the same parallel. it'll appear faster, right? And then there's a flash right in the dead center of this open space. The van 2 appears in all of its glory, gleaming and shiny. Bing! He says it'll automatically appear within 100 meters of your location. It'll automatically avoid any intervening structures and arrive in the largest open space. So be careful when you call it, because you don't want to call it in the middle of town, because it will literally appear in the middle of town. But now you don't have to hide it or push it about. It can move slowly at a couple of miles per hour under its own power. It still has the camouflage cloak if you wanted, but you can, when you arrive, you just send it back to us, and then when you need it to come back, you click that, give it around 10 minutes to maybe half an hour, and then boom, your ride arrives. He says,
yeah, I can't say
it's
anything
awesome.
going wrong with that.
That is truly a stunning feat of engineering.
Is this van still under warranty?
He says, it's brand new. It's the only van Mark II we have. We've run simulation tests, and Freya has taken it out herself personally, and it's worked perfectly every single time.
So it's not going to blow up.
No.
Challenge accepted.
He says, we have 100% less forced nuclear explosions with the Van 2 as we did with our Van 1 prototype.
Right.
What's its armor rating? I mean, could it take a hit from a 12-pound cannonball?
No, he starts to look worried at this point. He says, no, don't get my beautiful van shot at by cannonballs.
What about arrows?
I prefer you didn't get shot at anything. So that would be great.
Yeah, but in our line of work.
What if a senile old bear thinks it's a female bear in heat?
Important to know these things.
He looks extremely worried by this point. And he says, maybe I should just have a quick word with Freya before you go.
No, it's all right. We'll sort it.
We'll just let the bear look up the van skirt.
You've been handed a folder with all of the available information they had. Obviously, you're not taking that with you because you have to physically go and pretend it to be the oldie worldy people.
I want to grab a couple of bits of kit before we go.
Certainly.
I'd
you've still got your stone.
Yeah.
That reappeared. It's a cursed luck stone, so you can use
my
it.
lucky magic stone.
You can use it any time for a +2 for anything, but then I get to use it for a +2 for anything.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. That's quite worrying.
The weapons that we can get from the armory, is there any way they can modify them to take, say, a modern scope or something, just to improve the range and the chance to hit?
No, you're going undercover, and you are being issued with time-appropriate weapons. So no, you can't have a flintlock that shoots a 50 cal round.
No, I just meant, a little bit on the wood that looks innocuous, but you can slip on a proper modern sniper's rifle, which we've got hidden in the van or something.
The van doesn't have any sniper rifles in, and you're supposed to be sending the van back. Remember, he says Freya was quite clear about this. You have to send the van back when you've arrived there, and you only summon it when you get picked up. Okay?
He's really worries about these things, doesn't he?
He literally licks his finger and then moves an invisible speck of dust that nobody else can see off the van.
Wow, this is going to be a problem.
Oh well, in that case, I shall clear me throat onto the side of the van and then scrub that bit he's just scrubbed with me rather mucky handkerchief.
Right, he sort of goes eep as you leave a dirty stain on his lovely, clean, shiny van.
Oh, you've left a mark. I'll get me cuff that's got a cufflink on and scrub it across the.
So it goes ee, and he's like, Freya, somebody get Freya.
Has anybody got any crayons?
Yes.
I always assume that Earl has crayons.
Yeah, I
No
am.
matter
Always
what.
got crayons for plans.
There
I'll
must
get
be
me box of crayons out.
There must be some spray paint somewhere.
Right, Freya marches up and gives you a hard glare and says, "All right, stop torturing the poor man. This is a time-sensitive mission. It's really time-sensitive.
Well,
You need to get your clothes on, get in the van.
right, I'll start
It's
stripping off.
pre-programmed for
I'll
you."
start stripping off.
Yeah, right in front of her.
Yeah, we
No
all just
shame.
we
Zip.
just stop. Yeah, we all just strip.
Oh, for God's sake, they did warn us about you a lot. I don't know how you ended up promoted.
I will look at her and do the my team best team.
She just rolls her eyes. All of these people, everybody else is like trying not to look at you, like, "Oh my God."
Yep. Right. I would like 3 glass brandy bottles full of something that'll burn like petrol, and one of them multi-barrel
fair.
flintlock rifles that
Moonshine.
Sharps used to carry.
Yes, the by
Oh.
Mr. Locke, the one by Mr. Locke.
Aye, and a duck's foot pistol
Okay,
for emergencies.
they will provide these for you.
Jolly good. You can't beat a 7-barrel duck's foot pistol.
Appropriate notepad and pencil.
And a notepad and pencil, right? Okay.
I would take it. I would knock yours.
Delude.
No, they're not letting you take any items advanced technology.
So is my cane advanced technology? Since it's got a taser in it.
Yes, it is. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be going undercover. I know you're used to your advanced combat rifles and your starship grade weaponry, and
We'll be
Common check
fine.
things like, a set of lock picks and stuff like that. But hide them.
I
yes,
suppose if there were old lockpicks, you could. Let's go to an antique shop and buy like really interesting antiques. Like
they will provide you with some antique type lockpicks. They've got a costume department, so they're providing everything that's time appropriate for you.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
Yeah, pick up the rifle and the flintlock Glock and good to go.
Right, you load yourselves into the van. Andy's driving. You stick the little pen thing in your top pocket. Again, it's pre-programmed, so you really don't need to do anything. It's got simple driving controls because it will travel at a very slow speed. So that's different, whereas before it just had a big red go button. So now it's got a big red go button and some driving controls.
Ah, that's a much improved design.
I wonder if you can do a handbrake turn in it.
You can, just very, very slowly. So you all climb in, and Andy slaps the button. Is that correct?
Pretty much.
Right. It's programmed to arrive just outside of CLM in a position where you shouldn't be seen. Good luck, gentlemen. Please remember, says Freya, this is a very time-sensitive mission because we don't know what's happened to Sarah.
I've got a
Andy
pretty good idea.
slaps the button.
That's not a euphemism, is it?
It's not a euphemism. The van begins to shimmer, and then a few seconds later, it pops out of existence. You get that weird lengthening and twisting sensation as if you're being stretched in a toffee machine as you begin to physically move through the universal barriers again.
I've never been stretched in a toffee machine.
And then, as you're looking at the dashboard, Andy, there's a little red light blinks on and it goes wah, wah, wah.
Oh God,
What
it's
was
detected a
that,
duck.
mate?
That's the duck alarm.
You have a quick look, and it's the altitude alert alarm. And then there's a pop of air, and the van materializes about 5 feet in the air and crashes to the ground in a heavy crunch.
I'll fucking kill him when we get home.
Luckily, you were strapped in, but you all bounce, and there's definitely some sparks and sputtering noises.
Isn't there always?
Isn't there always? Right, so instead of arriving just outside the town of Salem,
We're right in the middle.
you're right. No, you're.
All right. I had
You're-
visions of that.
You should all see the map now.
Yep.
Yeah, you are kind of a bit further away. You clamber out. You hear sort of like sparkly noises and a bit of sputtering.
Before we send this back, will you get your black crayon out and draw like an imaginary scratch right along the side of it?
No, I'm going to draw little wings on it.
I'm going to piss up the side of it.
Jesus Christ. The world's shortest promotion. Right. As you look underneath, Andy, some of the superstructure is buckled on the bottom.
Oh, you can get that out with armor.
But as per usual, every fan you've ever had, something bad happens to it.
I'm going to say, lend us your crayon, and I'm just going to write on the side of it, it wasn't me.
Right. So after you finish defacing this brand new, shiny, but now dented and buckled van,
Yeah, it wasn't me. Not my fault the equipment doesn't work properly.
That's what she said.
do you send it back then with a twist and a double click?
We'll send a note with it saying that it appeared 5 feet above the ground and landed hard. And it's not
Yeah,
our
so
fault.
start running.
That's
Yeah.
true. You did state that you were taking a pen and pencil. So Dave licks his pencil, writes a quick note, sticks it on the dashboard, presumably.
It's not
Yep.
where I would stick it, but yeah, okay.
Right. So you stand back to what you think is a safe distance, twist the cap, double click it. The van makes a noise that sort of goes, zzzz, zzzz, and then it starts. Whereas before, when they demonstrated to you, it was just a nice clean ping as a blink out of existence. It sort of fades in and out, makes a weird zzzz, zzzz noise, like the TARDIS when it's kind of dematerializing, and then it goes poof and pops, and there's a crack of displaced air.
That
Nice.
thing watches too much television.
We're stuck here now, you don't realise.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, we're not. No, because we'll just go to sleep and wake up late.
This is the closest you had a map that was displayed on the dashboard, and that's the last thing that you saw was the map.
Head straight south towards the bridge.
You head straight south towards the bridge. It takes you half an hour or so of hiking because you are dumped in the middle of nowhere. And as you approach the bridge, you see that building that's marked is a mill, and there seems to be a large crowd milling around on the
Aha!
bridge.
Milling around.
They're not ducking a rather familiar-looking woman in the mill pond, are they?
They're not currently ducking a larger and familiar, but they do seem to be building a Duncan stool on the bank next to the mill. They've got all of that Puritan gear on, the stuff with like the hats with the buckles and the feathers, and the women have got the turned back.
I can say
Clothing
this
and
mill getting burned down,
Purely accidentally, of course.
Oh, aye. Because flour dust explodes.
Oh, yeah. And it looks like lightning. Mm.
That's frightening.
So what do? You're still a little north of the bridge. You just see these people milling about. They're not seeming to be doing anything other than intently milling. They seem to be waiting for something.
Right, I will start heading towards them.
Do we know the date it is here and the date we were supposed to have arrived?
No. But you do see that they're building a ducking still on the side of the... It hasn't currently been used yet. As you approach, you pass a low rise. Upon the low rise, there are several gallows.
Oh, that's definitely not a good sign.
They do look stained and worn as if they've been used quite a lot.
But there's nothing currently dangling.
Nothing currently dangling from them, no. So as you pass those, there's a patrol of 4 what look like locals holding muskets. They come not so much marching as sort of roughly ambling in formation, and they approach you. Says, "All righty there, folk."
Ah, hello, good sir. How are you today?
Says,
On
That
God's
accent.
fine day.
"That accent you not be from round these parts."
Oh, no, sir. I'm from Chatham Junction.
Okay. He says, we guards the town. Where you be heading?
Oh, well, I assume there's going to be a ducking. Well, you can't miss a good ducking.
He says that witch Goody Burrows, she's gonna drown today.
Is that the woman we're after, Burrows?
Sarah Burrows, yes.
Oh.
Says, can I see your papers? I mean, you understand it's procedure.
Oh, of course, sir. I will hand him my perfect papers.
And then he gestures for the rest of you to show us his papers.
Okay, dokie.
Right, he has a read, but as they are very good papers, there's nothing. He says, "Mine, they must be new. They ain't stained or weather worn or anything."
Oh, well, of course, we have not long since arrived in these fair lands. Yes. Yeah, but we've gone Dalek.
Yeah, everybody's gone Dalek.
Oh, no, we're in Dalek now.
Oh, we're back.
now.
Davrost it.
He says, "You're carrying a lot of black powder for people interested in visiting the harbour."
I'll turn
He
around and
says,
go,
"You'll have a right job shooting the fish down there, you know."
oh, I don't know. No, you see, sir, in England, unfortunately, the government has taken it upon itself to, well, turn their back on the common folk and not at all allow us to deal with the degenerates in the way that they should be dealt with.
Aye, I understand that. He says, "Well, your papers are all in order. If you need somewhere to stay, the ship tavern's down there in the town. The entertainment's not due to start for another hour and a half yet, so..."
Oh, we'll just wait an hour and a half, may as well. Be a shame to miss the start. That's the best bit.
He says, when they're all flopping about and they can't breathe and their eyes are bugging out.
Tell
He,
me,
he says,
Sergeant.
of course, if she drowns, then she's innocent. So, well, at least she'll be free from the word of the devil. We all know she's a witch. I mean, she went down to Aggie's farm and she turned all the milk sour. Honestly, she's a terrible woman.
Dead giveaway that.
Excuse me, good sir, but if she drowns and she's innocent, does that mean you've killed an innocent person and therefore committed murder?
No, sir, because she's guilty until proven innocent. So at the moment she goes into the water, she's a guilty woman. So it's only in innocence that we pray to God for forgiveness.
God will judge her.
God will judge her, not me. And I seem to have now turned a little Irish as well. My accents are all over the place tonight.
I'll put my arm on his shoulder and go, Sergeant, may I have a private word?
Give me a clever test.
I will as soon as I find me.
You should be 5. He says, aye, mate, man, you can, I can meet you in the ship later and we can share tales.
No, just step aside a moment here with me, Sergeant.
Okay, he steps aside with you.
How has a witch finder been brought in yet?
He says, we have our own witch finder.
Yes, but he's the official witch finder.
He is. He's very good at it. He's found 3 last week.
Ah. A good man, then.
A good, honest, God-fearing man.
Exactly.
Okie doke. You were going to try and pretend to be the witch finder, weren't you?
Yes.
I'm the traveling witch finder.
I'm witch finder Sergeant.
Aye, Pulsifer.
Witch finder Sergeant Pulsifer.
Right, gentlemen. So, are you planning on standing on the bridge with the crowds? The crowds are not afraid of you, but the women do sort of whisper and look at you over the shoulders.
Avoid winking, because I'm a good boy.
Has these guardsmen walked off yet?
Yes, you can see that they're patrolling up and down that. The map should now be in your journal, so you can look at it at any time. They move across the bridge and then they're patrolling up and down the path that runs into town.
So how the hell we're going to rescue her then? I guess it's going to be set a fire to part of the town and rescue her while the place burns down.
That isn't a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, but just remember, we've got to hold them off for at least half an hour till that van turns up.
If they can find us.
Because 10 minutes, my arse.
That's not very... That's a lack of faith, that.
Only in the van and the technology.
Yeah.
Total faith in us. No faith in that.
Right, so the hill that's on the south of the bridge, that's which hill? That's got like crosses and
Which hill?
On the map you've got, there's a hill marked.
Which hill?
Oh God.
Which hill?
Which hill? That which hill. So that's where they have all the crosses and all of the stakes for burning and all of the fun attrapments that it's needed in the town of Salem.
We should be on the lookout for this being a operation and not legitimately off its head parallel.
shall we have a quick wander into town, see if we can maybe see where the jail is? Have a quick scan, maybe see if we can get her out of there now, or I don't know where to just tap the whole town.
I think she'll be probably heavily guarded, but we should look. I believe you are indeed correct, young man.
See, if I had dynamite, I could have blown the bridge.
Yeah, but if you had dynamite, then the bridge would be the least of our worries.
Oh, Christ, what's up there?
Right, so gentlemen, I've put the map on the board for you. Can you all see it?
Yes, Daddy.
Yeah. So this is which hill? The hill there.
Oh, yeah.
And are you planning on walking into the town?
We shall perambulate towards the township.
Where's which hill again?
That can you see that when I click on it?
Yeah.
That's which hill. This is where they're making the ducking still, just to the south of the bridge. And the crowd is sort of milling around on the bridge because they want to get the good spots so they can see the vicious hag drowned. You know what I mean? As you walk down the main street, the first two buildings appear to be just normal houses, and the first thing you see is this building here to the south. Is the big sort of town hall. It's got a sign outside where people have posted notices and things like that. It looks like a meeting place. The building on this side of the road here is the Ship Tavern. It looks quite creepily. There's a sign that swings around, swings backwards and forwards with a faded picture of a ship upon it. And behind the Ship Inn, over here by the river, you can see the Salem jail. It's such an old jail that it's spelt with a G. It's a gaol.
Wow. A ghoul.
Yeah. It's built of thick hand-woven hewn oak timbers and siding. It looks dirty, and it looks like there are windows with wrought iron bars embedded in it.
Let's find the town hall, set fire to it, and then we'll break around.
AFK 1 minute, guys.
Okay. Now that you found that, do you continue any further in, or?
Depends how long it's taken. We could have a quick merge.
Taking you about another 20 minutes or so. You see some small children rushing past you, giggling and saying, "We mustn't be late. The witch is going to be drowned. She's going to be drowned." But yeah, the jail is off by itself. The Ship Tavern looks empty, just has the creaky wooden sign blown in the wind outside.
Is there anybody stood outside the jail guarding it?
There is nobody stood outside the jail guarding it.
Mm-hmm. Can I have a surreptitious and not looking like I'm casing the place and have a walk around to see if there's any, is there any cell bars up facing there? Could we have a peek in or what?
Of course you can. Give us a sneaky roll, isn't it? It's been so long, I need to open my character sheet to see what you can do. Sneaky, yeah, make us a sneaky roll. That is a 1. That is not a great success. An average success. Right, so you sneak around the jail, it appears that there are 3 windows with thick iron bars on, but it looks like the windows join where 2 cells join. So you estimate that there's 6 cells with like half a small window in each, rather than building individual windows. If you can please make me a clever roll, Mr. Bracey.
Uh-oh.
But that's all you can make out. The door has the old-fashioned iron handle. It doesn't appear to have. It doesn't appear to have a way to externally lock it with a normal key. It looks as if it's locked from the inside.
The fact that there's no guards on the outside, though, makes me wonder if she's actually in there.
I'll read the notices on this town hall to see if there's anything interesting.
It's normal town stuff, other than the big notice at the top, which is like rolled over parchment, and it's like, notice in the year of our Lord that the witch, ye good fellow, will be ye goody Burrows will be drowned on this day at the time of the midday. So that is it looks as if it's almost midday now. We've got maybe half an hour. Davy is over by the town hall, which is here. The rest of these are kind of on the street outside of the inn.
Pass back.
Welcome back. Out of all the people, apart from the guards, how many of the townsfolk are armed?
Not a lot while they're in town, to be honest. Are you going to have a massive shit out with the entire town of Salem?
Fuck yeah, I might go for that.
I think we need to be a bit more subtle.
That's why I brought a duck's foot pistol.
Bracey sneaked off round the jail, Earl, and did okay with his sneaking, but as you can see, failed his clever roll completely. Couldn't find a lock on the door, couldn't see any other ways in, or couldn't see in through the iron bars.
Well, I
he didn't
guess
stand up a box.
what we should do is buy a flagon of cider, empty half of it out, put some load of fucking brandy in, and let's give the internal guard a drink.
I mean, if we need distraction, we can burn the town down. That won't be a problem. This place will go up like a tinderbox, but subtle might be the way to go. Although, if we want to go full frontal, I'm always up for full frontal.
Well, it's nearly time for the ducking, so we need to come up with a plan quick. So either going
Yeah,
to break her out now, or get her on the road as they take her up. Depends how many people it's going to be.
Let's set a light to something in town. Everything will stop for a fire in town. I mean, they'll have to do a bucket brigade, won't they?
How about the building the furthest away from the jail? To the east?
Yeah. Has
So
to be
this
something
one.
important enough for them not just to let burn to the ground, though.
Well, they're all houses out that way. Davy's standing at the town hall, if you will, with the notice board outside. It's like the town hall / meeting place. You and Andy are currently standing outside of the pub, the Ship Inn, and Bracey's sneaking around by the jail.
Did anyone, by any chance, bring some Molotov cocktails?
I might have done.
Andy did.
Yes, Andy definitely brought 3 extremely flammable.
Well, there is a surprise. I never expected anyone to do that. Us being the good guys and all that.
I mean, it strikes me that the most important buildings in this town is either the one and only inn / tavern and the mill.
Or the mill. The entire town needs its mill.
With its gigantic water wheel.
Yeah, we'll burn the mill. Because the mill will be full of flour dust.
Which might explode with a bit of luck.
Someone go and torch the mill.
The jail, it's the back of the jail that leads onto the river. Is there any like rowboats nearby?
There are no rowboats left moored nearby unless someone spent a fair point and it just happened to be a boat that was left nearby. Bear in
I
mind,
can see a rowboat nearby.
you all have 4 now because you're Uber as anything. So yes, there's a little fisherman's rowboat that has been moored nearby the back of the jail. Dave, do you want to make a clever roll?
Yeah, I mean, a clever.
I'll tell you what would have been really handy is if that river had ever flooded in the past and some of the planks along the backside of the jail were a bit rotten.
It's possible.
That would be inconvenient.
Davey, you go around. Can you please make a stealth roll as well? A sneaky roll, sorry. Well, it's only average, right? You sneak around the back, but you have a look through. You can see there's a lock, a big iron lock embedded into the wood, but it was embedded back so Bracey couldn't see it. And there appears to be one guard inside. You've sneaked round to the back and you're sort of peeking in through one of the iron barred windows. There's only who you recognise as Sarah Burrows because you saw a picture of her on the briefing. And there's a big brawny looking fella. And he seems to be tormenting her. He's like banging on the bars. Inside there's 6 cells. The whole place looks pretty solid. And he's got a vast walrus mustache. He says, "Oh, Ned's going to get his entertainment today, isn't he?" Bangs on the bars. You're gonna be drowned, witch, ain't you? And just goes. Sarah says, "I'm not a witch," and he's going, "Well, we'll find out. If you drown, then you're not a witch, and we'll all be sorry to God for you. But other than that, he says, I love them when they squeal and they thrash about." He says, "Do you know what we're going to do to you? We're going to tie your thumb to your big toe so you can't swim, and then we're going to put you in the ducking stool, and they're going to see just what you're made of."
Oh dear.
And he looks at the window and he goes, "Sun's almost at its zenith. I hope you said your goodbyes to God." He says, "But no, it'd be to Satan, won't it? We'll send you down to the warm place. They should be nice and warm till you swim."
He's quite a character, isn't he?
I think we should burn the jail with him in it.
That would be a way to go.
Right, there's nobody else nearby, as you haven't seen many people other than the children that passed you. Everybody seems to have gone and congregated up at the bridge, ready for the entertainment.
Let's just walk to the front door like we own the place.
We could do that if it's not locked. Does it look locked?
Yeah,
The front door.
you're gonna have to knock on the door.
Well, Bracey brought some lockpicks, if you remember.
Right, let's pick the lock. Who can pick locks?
Are you going to carefully pick the lock, Bracey? Are you going to have a
I'm going to very carefully pick the lock.
Right. Wow. Okay. So it's big and old fashioned. So basically, you're sliding the lock picks in. They're almost too small because the lock's so big and crude. With a silent little clunk, the lock picks open. If you can make me a sneaky roll, please, Bracey. A 1. Right. Ned, being a bit of a tickler, hasn't heard it. The lock clicks open. You slide the door open just a fraction. You can see this big guy with a walrus mustache still taunting Sarah Burrows as she's in the cell. There doesn't appear to be anybody else inside.
Is he facing away from us?
He is, because he's tormenting poor Sarah, the witch.
Does Sarah see us peeking through the door?
Do you want her to say yeah, because you're still quite sneaky?
I'd rather she didn't, but if she does, I'm going to like put the old finger to the lips like that shh sign.
Tell you what, Sarah's actually got a character sheet because I'm that efficient. So let's find out if she's, because you got a 1 on your stealth. So you got 2. So you got a -1. No, she's completely oblivious to you.
Right, how far away is this guy from me at the door?
I'd say about 5-6 foot.
So I can reach him in one combat round.
Yes.
Right. Let's go in, lads. I want one of us back up. I want keeping an eye out. Anybody good at fighting?
Yes, I'll draw a spoon.
Oh, he's saved. You draw a spoon, you go breathe on it, and then polish it on your arm.
He's in for it now.
Right. So,
are we
so
going
where
to
is everybody?
or just kill him?
Well, we should just incapacitate.
Oh, I was going to take my Bowie knife out. Oh, I guess I'll have to pistol whip him then.
Why do you get incapacitated with a Bowie knife? 6 or 7 times? Right, so Bracey's at the door. Who's behind Bracey?
Me.
Earl. Davey, are you standing next to the...
I've gone over to the jail. I'm next to the door.
Right, because there's the boats there. And Andy, where are you? Fingering your Molotov cocktails and looking at all these buildings made of wood.
Oh, I know. I'm getting that old Molotov itch. I presume I'm last in line because, if anything, I'll keep an eye on the door because I've got the old multi-barrel flintlock and a duck's foot pistol. That'll keep their heads down for a bit.
It certainly will. Right, okay. Bracey, I guess you go first then?
Yes. I'm going to whip my pistol out, but I'm not going to shoot him. I'm going to do the old flintlock Glock clubbing in the back of his head.
Right, so that would be a sneaky attack versus his forceful.
Ooh, I think is it worth spending a thingy?
Right, well, I rolled a 4. So you've sneaked up behind him, you've raised the thing, you bring it down on his head, but at the moment, he's tougher than he looks.
Can I spend a thingy to reroll?
Yes, you can spend a fair point and re-roll that, yeah?
Bosh.
Ooh, 6. Right, so that's 2 shifts. Right, so you sneak up behind him, this giant of a man with his walrus mustache, and you bring your black powder pistol down, crack on the back of his head, and he slumps unconscious to the floor. Sarah Burrows lets out a gasp. Like that.
Sarah Burrows, come with me if you want to live.
She goes, are you from Valhalla?
Aye, pet, we're here to get you out.
She says, I thought you'd be taller. Aren't you a little short for a Valhalla agent?
Right, I searched this guy who's unconscious to find the keys, if he's got the keys for the cell.
Yes, he's got a big old-fashioned ring of keys that jangles most pleasantly as you pull it off his belt.
Right, okay then.
Make sure you lock him in the cell.
I was going to say, we'll lock him in the cell, tie him up so he can't get out, gag him so he can't chase for help. Then Andy can cover him in brandy.
And so the place stinks. It's rat infested. You can see droppings everywhere, and a rat runs along the side of the wall. Each cell is secured by an iron padlock. Ned, you assume he was called Ned, as he was referring to himself as Ned, is the only guard. So are you locking him in one of his own cells and gagging him and tying him?
Yeah.
Right. Sarah spits at him as you drag him past. She says, "The stupid bloody people."
It's not their fault.
Right. Is there anything inside the jail? Like, has Ned got any cloaks or anything, or coats, or that we can give to this?
He'll have
guys herself.
He'll have a coat, yeah, like a big dirty coat. A big dirty coat.
How many people could fit in this fisherman's boat?
5.
I would say coincidentally 5, yeah.
Right.
She says, "We'll have to hurry. I need to get to me cabin. There's the TPT's there, a small portable one. They can't find it or destroy it. We have to get that and recover it before they go there. Without a doubt, as soon as they discover I'm gone, they'll go around and burn me cabin down."
Where's your cabin?
It's in the woods. Sorry.
It's in the woods.
Anywhere near the point of arrival, perhaps?
No, it's further south. You need to sneak. You need to get past them and go south past Witch's Hill.
So the boat was basically no good then.
Well, I didn't know that. Well, what you could do is take the boat out of the water, turn it upside down, so you all get out of it. So all you can see is a boat with a bunch of legs sticking out underneath it, and then run down the middle of the street. We are in disguise.
You could take the long way around, row over, then go all the way around to the west. I doubt they'll be expecting that. Although that could take a while to get to a cabin.
Yeah.
Looks like there's a small creek just before the bridge.
There is, yes. But basically, you could sneak down south. Like I said, as long as you make a stealth roll, you can get past. And then just head south along this road here. On the other side of the inn. Luckily, everybody's waiting for the witch to get drowned, so
we could take the boat with us, couldn't we then?
You could take the boat with you, yes. Like I said, you can pick it up and run with it if you need to take a boat. Do you need to take a boat?
Probably not.
I mean, I think it would be funny, but that's fine.
Do I get my fate point back because we can't use the boat?
No, you don't get your fate point back. No refunds, son.
Cheeky bugger.
No refunds.
Doesn't like that.
Broken.
Right, so you're going to make a stealth. Who's got the worst sneaky?
Ooh, now you're asking.
1.
I've got 1.
And Sarah has...
I have 2, so I'm not totally...
Sarah has 2, so... So, Earl, so you're sneaking... You're at the back because you're the least sneaky.
Yes, but I will employ the didders.
And you can... Right. Go on, make a sneaky roll to see if you get out of town, okay? A 0.
I was going to say, is it worth sneaking so we're not just walk around like we own the place and people just won't
We
look?
do have a witch with us, though.
You do have a witch with you.
But she's got the coat on, so...
We could have shaved his
keeps her
moustache
head
off
down
and
and
give her
stuff.
the moustache and they'd have thought she's a man.
Right, well, Earl got a 0. You could, like, for instance, say, right, I'll spend a fate point and invoke the aspect of the fact that all of the town are hiding at the bridge for a +2.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Which would be enough. So invoke the aspect ghost town.
Yeah, I can do that.
And you manage to sneak out of town. As you get out of town, Sarah's like staring at you, and she says, "There's something about you." And then she looks intently at you and she went, "No, there's something about something you carry."
Oh, it'll be me cursed luck stone. This
You
thing, I
what?
can't get rid of it. I'll hand it to her.
Right, you try to hand it to her, but like it's kind of like stuck to your palm.
Yeah.
You're like holding it over a hand and like you're shaking it, and it's stuck to your palm. And then when you put it back in your pocket, it's just as if nothing's ever happened. She's like, "That's got a great psychic signature about it."
Yeah, really.
I'd be
really
careful
good.
about that.
I know. Not a lot I can do about it, sadly.
Right, so she lives just off the bottom of this map. It's not too far from town. It's a small, modest, single-room log cabin. She doesn't have a key because she was just locked up in the thing, but she's got a spare key under the mat. She pulls the mat up and opens the log cabin. Inside is a small bed, fireplace, and a few meager possessions. There's bags of dried herbs. There's some old blackened iron pots and pans, that kind of thing. She says, "Right, it's over in the barn." So she heads over to the barn and brushes aside the straw on the floor, revealing a wooden trapdoor. Underneath that is a cellar. It's a single 4 by 7 meter room, and there's a small portable TPT in an old locked chest. A table takes up one corner of the room. A map of the coast showing Salem, Boston, and Hockomock Swamp rolled upon it. Hockomock Swamp has been circled with the word "here" in neat handwriting. On the wall hangs a Jaeger rifle. Sarah takes this down and takes some dried clothes out of a chest and says, "If you give me a few minutes of privacy to get changed into some dried clothes."
Yep.
Yep. I'll go back outside and I'll see if there's any sign of, people going up and down the road looking, like frantically, like, "Oh my God, the witch has escaped. Let's get a search party out for her."
Make me a clever roll.
No.
No, everything looks fine. Nothing at all. Nothing at all's happened. She says, "Right, we need to grab this TPT. It kind of looks like a modern suitcase, and you open it, and it's got like the screen built in one side with the typewriter keys in the bottom bit. The height of 1980s sci-fi technology.
All the best style, all the best tech is sci-fi tech.
She says, "Grab the map off the wall, the one with Boston, Charleston, and the map on."
I'll get the map.
She says, "We need to get out of here." As I said on my last transmission, I've been tracking an extremely strong psychic presence down south. It's in the Hockomock Swamp. One of my talents is sensing people who are touched, people like you. This is dangerous land for such folk. Fear of the devil is deadly serious here. There's something down there, something beyond God-fueled cruelty. I feel malicious minds so distinct I don't even need to meditate to sense them. I just feel them. They're all south of here at first, but now that I feel they're split up, the strongest, and I assume the main presence is far to the south. I have friends among the Mohicans who live down there. A while back, they told me of a strangeness around Hockomock Swamp. Whatever's going on, that's where it all began, and that's 4 days' travel from here. She says, "I am at your disposal, however. I don't know how, where I could hide, but I could just run, I guess."
Hold on a minute. Wasn't our mission to rescue her? Nobody said note about plunging through
I was
swamps.
just going to say that, Andy. I was going to say our mission was to get you out, and that was it.
Not quite, actually.
Shall I ring the taxi?
No.
Your mission was to rescue Sarah and find out what the transmission was. She was saying that there was some great, like, psychic, horrific evil, to see if it was a disruptor influence or if it was just the God-fearing adult craze of
Right, so
the locals.
We'll ring the taxi, go home, and shake and tell them.
Okay.
It's either brassy or crackney or both.
It might not be brassy or crackney or both. It's Sarah's describing it as a strong psychic presence, not as the fact that it is mechanical or anything like that. She's just normally she would have to meditate, but there's something putting out intense psychic waves.
Feel evil.
There's not really such a thing as good and evil, but our friends down at the Indian village have said that there's something intensely evil down there.
We haven't killed anything yet, El.
I know. I'm surprised. I suppose we better go into the swamp and murder things.
What's that? This is the map that you pull on the wall. She says it's 4 days walk. We can call in at the village and see if they know anything. But it's up to you.
It seems essential for the mission, so yeah, let's do it.
We don't want to be staying in any of the main towns, though, if we can.
Oh no, we really need to stay off the beaten path because, well, we just, did a bad
thing.
Well, no, you could. There's a path around Charleston and Boston, so you could go around them.
Yeah, we'll stay off road because they're not going to be trailing the countryside, or I doubt they will be.
Right, can everybody else make me a clever, please?
What?
A clever roll.
Hang on.
I ask if she has any pepper.
I think I may have some about here, yes, in the herbs and spices.
And you've cayenne.
Yes.
I know what you think, Davey.
What, he's going to make a curry?
No, he's going to make dogs have an interesting evening. They'll probably head to our cabin, so should we do it around the cabin? Well, I assume that's what you were doing. You weren't just making a steak.
Why? I think we should walk off single file and then sprinkle a bit, for our back path.
Andy, it would be much harder to track you, reckon, if you set fire to everything. In fact, I'm prepared to offer you a fair point if you decide to burn the barn and the house and basically the cornfield, anything else that happens to be flammable around here.
Yeah, the smoke should confuse the dogs as well.
Excuse me, Pet, you got any lamp oil about the place?
I've got a little bit, yeah. It's just over there in that
You're done with this place
jar.
now, right?
Oh, lovely. That'll do nicely. Thank you very much.
I no longer can live here.
Okay. You heard the lady.
Yes. Well,
Battle Plan 17, boys.
I shall make the suitable preparations, and then when we're ready to leave, I'll light the lot.
Is it worth setting fire to it now? When we leave, or setting traps so when they come and kick the door down, it sets off and then goes up in flames.
We could. It's a lot easier to just light something and light it.
True, but that's going to obviously then they're going to see that smoke and go, that's where they've probably gone. But okay.
Well, we could always do the sort of leave the lit candle to burn through something that'll set it off.
No, we
So-
could do one better than that. We could booby trap the place.
Right.
So, have you got a microwave and a toilet roll? Damn it! 200 years too early.
No.
Couple hundred years' time, this'll be a doddle.
So what? What are you doing? You're trying to make some kind of fiery booby trap.
Quick fire roll.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we'll just douse the fields and stuff. We'll sprinkle a path of flame stuff into the fields and that sort of thing, and then we'll leave a candle burning, but we'll make it so that it's on one of those little candle holders, and then attach it to the door. So when someone opens the door, the string pulls the candle and drops it into the pool of flaming stuff on the floor. Or soon to be flaming stuff.
Right, okay. I would say make a flashy roll, whoever's setting a bunch of traps then.
I won't. I will help, but I'm not good at that.
Yeah, you can get a +1 for Earl helping.
I'll help
And
as well.
+2 if I don't.
Hi. You get more bonus if you don't help. Right. George, you hear a calamity coming from the direction of Salem.
They found out she's gone, lads.
Whereas Briss was like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Burn the lot and leg it.
That's a good name for a solicitor's firm.
Right, you try to carefully set a trap, but with an entirely unconvincing oops, Andy seems to have accidentally set fire to something.
Oh, let it burn.
Like the fakest oops ever.
Oh dear.
You really are a pyromaniac, aren't you?
Well, I think I'm going to have to accept it because the dead giveaway was when I went, oops, before I threw the match.
Right, there's a great gout of flame because if it's one thing Andy can do well, it's set fire to stuff. And so you quickly beat a harsh retreat from Sarah Burroughs' cabin and the hidden place. And are you heading? You seen the map? Are you heading down south overland, but near the road, or
Overland, staying away from the road.
Well, Sarah is quite familiar with this sort of area, so she can lead you around the worst place. At one point, you see just near Boston, you see a patrol of 8 mounted British troops, and they ride around the bend. It looks like they're moving fast with a sense of purpose.
Are they coming north or south?
They are heading north. So you can just crouch in the bushes because you're quite far away from the road if you want.
Crouch,
They are
Crouch, I was thinking more of lying flat.
And they ride off without seeing you, and there's no further problems. But you spend a couple of nights under the stars and the sun, and the sunless sky, and it's not too cold. Sarah's grabbed blankets and whatever she had in the house, which are clean and serviceable for this area. And then just as you are on the last day towards... Right, are you heading to the Mohican village, or are you heading straight to the swamp?
Mohicans.
That's right, Indians. Right, you're on the last day journey to the Mohican village. Sarah says, I'm friends with people there. We should be able to get some help from them. You hear a help, sir. Help me.
We shall carefully investigate.
Are you gonna sneak up and see what the call is?
I'm going to approach cautiously.
Abby, where are you? Where's the girls, Abby? Are you going to try and sneak up, or are you just going to approach?
I'm going to approach cautiously, not sneakily.
I'll cover him.
Right. This is it looks like a well-to-do American gentleman, judging by his dress. He's sort of stumbling around. He looks dirty and malnourished, and he's wandering around, literally looking behind trees and shouting, "Help! Help me! Abby, where are you?"
Hello, good sir. What seems to be the problem?
He says, he looks at you and he looks all wild eyes. His eyes are sunken. He's unshaven. He says, "I have to find my Abby."
What has become of her? Do you know, sir?
I don't know, sir. I don't know where she is. I don't know where she is. And the three girls, that I can't find them. We live in a 2-story house, but I can't seem to find it.
You can't find the house.
No, sir. Sarah says, "I'm getting some really strange readings off him."
Could set fire though.
He grabs you and he says, "I don't know where I am."
Where were you last?
He says, "The last thing I remember, I woke up and there were 3 dead Indians from the local tribe. They were lying dead next to me, and I didn't know where it was. I've wandered around since then."
How did they get dead?
This is the last thing I remember before that was there were some fur traders I shared a campfire with, and I think they were in the league with the devil. They must have killed these poor fellows and placed a hex on me. I can't remember where I am or where my Abby is.
Describe Abby to me.
He says, and he concentrates really hard, and then he starts crying. He's like, I can't remember. I just remember her name. I can't remember what she looks like, what color hair she's got, or how tall she is.
Did you live in a city?
I did, yes.
City?
Which city?
No, we've just come from there. Sorry.
He says, I don't remember what it was called.
Fuck, they're a blind house, eh? I can't stand amnesiacs. Cannot remember why though.
It looks like he hasn't eaten or drank in days.
Well, we'd better give him a drink. I presume we've got sort of bread and rations and whatnot.
Yeah, bread, cheese, watery wine, that kind of thing.
Victuals.
Victuals.
That's the fella.
Chitlins and... He says, I buried them poor fellas, and then I've been trying to find my Abby, but I can't remember where she is or where we live or...
I think we should take them to the Mohican village.
Yeah, we'll help you look for Abby.
He says, I'm mighty obliged to you fellas, thank you. So you feed him up for a bit. You take him with you. He seems to calm down considerably, but you find out that he doesn't recognize the names of any towns. He can't describe his kids. He just knows he has 3 girls. It's just if huge chunks of his memory have just been torn away from him.
And of course, if it all goes pear-shaped, we'll just tell the Mohicans he killed their 3 braves.
That never crossed my mind.
Not once. Okay, so you enter the Mohican territory, you approach and find a small village. Sarah knows and is on good terms with. She calls out to them as they approach. There's like people cooking fires and things like that, and she calls out and waves. She speaks fluent Mohican, and she translates. She says, she shouts, Makawa, Makawa. And he comes over and she translates everything and she says, these are my friends, they need to talk to you. And this poor fella we find him wandering, he doesn't know who he is.
He's as mad as a box of frogs.
They take you inside their homes and give you a good meal. So, is there anything you want to ask Makwa?
Makwa, has there been any other strangers here?
He says, we're here.
Well, have you seen any other people acting like this guy?
He says, there is nobody around this area, but the swamp was a holy place to us. Hockamok means where the spirits dwell. But strange, Mattanit, sorry, he tries to look for a word. Sarah says, spirit of evil. The spirit of evil lives there. They took from our holy place. There was strange lights in the sky, and then an unnatural fog blanketed the swamp. We sent in one of their warriors, Etchemin, and his 30-strong war band to investigate. Only 3 returned. Those who did were not the same. They refused to speak about what they had witnessed. Instead, they took what they could carry and left, never to be seen again. The fog still covers Hockamok, and no one goes near it.
Well, we're definitely going to have a look at that.
He says, I would not go there. The place is inhabited by the Mattanit.
Are any of the warriors missing at the minute?
None of them missing other than the ones that were disappeared after they went into the swamp.
Well, I've always been told that if someone goes missing, you just keep sending more and more people after them until you find out where they are.
That doesn't seem like good strategy, to be honest.
Or was that the opposite? Okay, it's one or the other. We should go to the swamp and look.
Says, well, you crazy folks, if that's what you want to do.
I ask, what's the name of the girl? Is she getting any more emanations from, now that she's closer to the swamp? Is there anything more she can pick up, or has anything changed?
She says, yes, it's like the air's heavy. It's like a constant buzzing, like a radio that's slightly off channel. She says, I mean, I know you can't hear it, but it's like always there. I can hear it constantly. This gets serious tonight. Somebody needs to drop their pants.
But we're trying. I'm sober. Right. Into the swamp, boys and girls.
He says, if I can't dissuade you, I'll provide you with 2 carved out canoes to carry it through the swamp. You can't go through there on foot. It's too deep.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. So that is the plan then? Pop into the canoes and...
Pop in the canoes, have a swim down, a row down to the...
Right, you approach the Devil's Swamp. Everything seems to get more difficult. There's a thick, like, almost tangible fog covering the whole area of the swamp, and you hear several sounds of wildlife and you gently paddle through the swamp. Can you please make me some, what would it be? Clever rolls? Sorry, careful rolls.
We're very careful.
Right, you carefully and quietly paddle your way through the swamp. Looming out of the fog, a massive boulder juts out of the water, and it's scribed with strange petroglyphs. Sarah says it's called Dayton Rock.
Can't you translate it?
She says many copies have been made of the carvings, but nobody has managed to make 2 the same because it has been worn with time. It would take a massive, legendary +8 roll, clever roll to
Find a fate point for 2. Anyone help us for 2?
I'll give you one.
Can I use my team best team?
You can for a +2.
I require some help. I
I'll
will
give
use
him
my
help as
cursed
well.
lookstone for the further +2.
Excellent. Right, so the stone glows all warm in your hand. You peer at the petroglyphs, and
This is almost completely impossible to translate, and
right. So you kind of like, hang on a minute. This is something to do with traveling, going on a journey to see her, and then Earl's eyes roll up into his head, so you see white. Foam flecks at his lips, and he collapses on the bottom of the canoe.
Oh,
I will say, Gibble.
Right. So, Earl, you see yourself. You look down at your unconscious body on the floor. There's a silver thread stretches between you and your body, and you look and you can see around you is kind of blackness, but there's like a grey path. You float down the grey path, and sitting at the end is a dark cave, and in the cave it looks like there's an ancient man there, and he sits meditating. He's got a pipe which he's smoking, one of those peace pipes, and he's sitting in the ancient cave, and spectral smoke wafts up from the end of his pipe.
I will stand in front of him and go, hello, wise old man. Does he look American Indian?
Yes, he's an American Indian. He says, well, I've never seen your like before. You must be have managed to read the carvings on my rock.
Yeah, it was quite tricky. It was something to do with travelling, and then I went all funny.
He says, I am Digton, and I am here to teach people the spirits of enlightenment. He says, however, it would take a year, and I sense that you're not of my people. It's almost as if no man was meant to read the carvings until he was ready to spend years here learning the true path to spiritual enlightenment. Then he slowly puffs on his thing, blows the smoke ring out.
And time passes here in the same way as it does in the other realm.
It does, yes. Right, back in the canoe, right, Earl's sort of thrashing about, flicking at his lips, his eyes are rolled back in his head, he's freaky, all you can see is the whites of his eyes.
All right. Try and get in the recovery position so he doesn't swallow his tongue.
Right, do you want to make a clever roll? And presumably somebody's helping out?
Yeah, I'll help.
Right, so that's a 2. So, Earl, you start to feel a tug on the string, the astral thread that binds your body to your soul, trying to pull you back. Do you resist, or?
I'll resist for now, because I need to talk to this guy.
Right, so can you make a clever roll? You have to beat a 2.
No. I'll spend a fate point.
Right, so you get Earl into the recovery position, and he's breathing shallowly, but you basically keep applying modern first aid techniques and to stop him choking on himself, choking on his own tongue or what have you. So, Dighton, Dightun, Dighton. So Dighton sits there, puffs on his pipe, and he says, "You're a very interesting man. What's your name?"
I'm Earl Ronald Swinton Jones. I've been displaced here from another time to try and save a woman who is friends with the local tribe. But we can sense some great danger in this swamp. And we've come here to try and combat it. Because she is a woman of wisdom and believes in the power of the earth, the locals have tried to burn her as a witch.
He says, "I don't know what you speak. I've been here. Time is lost all meaning to me. I've been here so long. There's no swamp. When I carved my rock of enlightenment to lead the souls here to learn, it was just a field.
It's a swamp now, and some great evil has came into being here.
Look out the window, Pet. It's flooded.
Yeah, it's been raining." He says, "Well, I am very sorry, and I wish I could offer more aid on your plane, but sadly, I'm here. I'm just waiting for a student, one who will come and he will learn the path of enlightenment."
Ah, the path of enlightenment he will learn.
Yes.
The mortal realm, I have pressing business there. But mayhaps I may return in the future.
He says, "Well, in all of these many years, you have been the only person who's managed to successfully read the rock. I did not think it was possible."
Well, it is in a swamp. It's kind of hard to get to. Have you ever thought what would happen if your rock fell down and covered the writing up?
He says it's a rock. It's been there since before there was a swamp, apparently, and it'll be there long after the swamp has dried up.
Yeah, but what I mean is, if it falls over, then no one will be able to read it. So you're kind of not getting anything done.
He says, "Well, it's all mystical, isn't it? Everything will work out. If it's ordained to work out, it will work out."
that sort of trust in faith is refreshing.
Bracy, will you make another clever roll because you're trying to bring her around?
I best
Somebody-
go back before they do something really stupid, like try to set us on fire.
Somebody
And
ought
he's
to
like-
tell that. Come on.
And he's like, he's already dead. We might as well cremate him.
Somebody ought to tell that Native American, don't order through Deliveroo, they'll never find you.
Right, so the tether's getting stronger and stronger, and you start to slowly drift backwards, and you travel back through the astral plane. You just had to make that roll, didn't you? No matter what, you were like, I'm having that.
I'm having that.
Right, Earl says, ta-ra. He sort of blows a smoke ring and waves farewell to you. Earl's eyes snap open, and he starts to cough in the bottom of the canoe.
That was interesting.
Where you been then?
Oh, there was an Indian guy called Dayton waiting in the ethereal realm.
Sarah says, this is Dayton's Rock.
Yeah, well, I've met him. He's a nice enough guy. He's just waiting to teach someone eternal wisdom.
And he picked you.
Well, no, I think it was just my sort of, I don't know. I didn't have time. I mean, who needs to be eternally wise anyway?
Yeah, that's true. It's probably more responsibility than it's worth. It's just like,
You know, I was just thinking that, and you're just going to end up in trouble.
She pinches the bridge of her nose, and she's like, I'm getting that constant static in my head now. It's like a headache.
Does it feel like a bloke smoking a pipe?
No, it just sounds like a slightly off-channel radio, but it's like burrowing in my head. No, definitely not a cave.
All right, then I've got nothing.
Right, you paddle slowly on. There's more sounds of general swamp as you paddle through the swamp. Can you
Is that a hamster on a hamster wheel?
Yes. Can you make me a clever old people? Right, so you're slowly paddling through the swampy waters, and Earl and Cathcart, you hear a bloop next to you. There's a massive like bubble bursts the surface.
Have we got any naked light flames around? Because if we have, we should put them out.
No, but we could have.
Let's not.
Right, there's a great wave between the boats, sending them flying to the sides. Water sort of showers in all directions as something surfaces, knocking the boats to either side, and it makes a loud growling noise. As this enormous turtle, the size of a small car, looks like an alligator snapping turtle, but a gigantic turtle, and it crashes into the sides of either boat. Can you all please make me a quickness roll?
Fill it full of lead.
You need to beat a 2.
Oops.
Oh, shit.
Right, so
Tell me they're not all in the same canoe.
I think I could possibly do with using a fate point.
right, the canoe turns like this turtle like bashes the thing. Sarah squeals, and she has to make a quickness roll as well. No, right, Sarah goes off. Splosh that way. Right, is anybody doing anything? Anybody re-rolling or?
I'm going to reroll.
Yeah. I'm re-rolling. That's better.
Right, so you almost go over the side, but you manage to grab on at the last second. Bracy goes splash, and this gigantic turtle slips down beneath the swamp. The boats now rock backwards and forwards.
I'll grab the lass and pull it into the boat.
I'll try to grab Bracy and do the same.
I'll keep an eye out for that bloody turtle.
Right, as you grab them and start dragging them up, you drag them about halfway over into the boat. Bracy does a great bite. Attacks you. There he's there. So I am going to spend a GM fate point. I'm invoking the death from below aspect for a +2, and it takes an enormous bite out of you, and it gets 8, and that's a 10. Right, so it something grabs you around the waist. It hasn't got teeth, but it's got hardened bone. Like, because it's an alligator snapping turtle, they're absolutely brutal. So that's a 10 on you. What would you like to do?
That's a bit of a
You
problem.
need to defend. You can defend with forceful. You can try and defend with quickly.
Can I use the aspect? I feel the need for speed, i.e. speedily getting back in the boat.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can spend a fate point. You can use that for a +2 on your roll.
Yeah.
So you can either use strength or you can use quickness. Quickness is trying to quickly get back in the boat. Strength is to literally resist the damage because you're such a hero. That is the first good roll, an 8 that the GM has ever gotten in this game.
Aye, it would be on me as well. Twat.
Put an end to this because I don't approve of it at all.
I'll quickly try and get back in the boat.
Right, and you've got a +2 for your fate point.
Fuck's sake.
2, so that is still a 6 shift. Sorry, no, that's an 8 shift. So you're going to take a 6-point consequence.
Nice on you, lads.
No, you're not. Well, you're not killed because you take. Right, so because I roll so badly, normally the players don't actually do anything. So down at the bottom, Bracy, you need to absorb 8 points of damage. So you're going to have to take. Click add a consequence, and then click severe -6. And then basically, what do you think the consequence would be? You've just been bitten, broken ribs, or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it punctured his whiskey flask and he's lost all his whiskey. That's the consequence.
Pretty bad consequence.
right. So Bracy suffers several of your ribs snap as the sucking swamp tries to drag you down. So under your severe consequence, put broken ribs, and then you can absorb that's a 10 -2, so it's 8. So you can tick your 2 points of stress. So although you're badly hurt, you've managed to absorb all the damage, so you're not like taken out, but you are badly. Literally Jaws style, you pull Bracy halfway out. This massive head the size of a car just comes out, clamps around Bracy's wrist. There's a sickening cracking noise. He lets out a short scream, but it lets go again and then slides backwards beneath the weight of the swamp, and then you see it. It's slowly, almost casually, like start swimming off in this direction. But it's not like hurrying. It's just like almost edgily, in fact, just
Like, that was delish.
You drag Bracy into the boat. Davey and Andy, you can help Sarah back in quite easily. But then Bracy's lying. He's finding it hard to breathe. He's coughing up blood, and it seems like he's been pretty badly hurt.
Can we apply any sort of first aid?
You can apply first aid, and he'll recover the stress at the end of this section of the thing. But at the moment, you can like bind his wounds. He's still going to suffer this severe consequence. And I get to invoke that for a free +2 the first time, and then I can spend a GM fate point to invoke it afterwards. That is the best roll I've ever made.
I'm disappointed.
What? That it didn't die?
Know that you're making good rolls. This is something we have to stop.
And then as it slides out of sight, it makes that noise again. So, what do you do now?
I lay very, very still.
I think we should paddle a bit faster.
Yeah. Then again, I don't think it's coming back anytime soon.
Well, obviously, it tastes funny.
Yeah.
He does. It tastes a bit funny. Bracey handily lies in the bottom of the boat and bleeds, coughing up blood. Painful for him to breathe. So you paddle a bit further. Ken, who's navigating?
Me, because I've got the map.
This away, says Earl.
I will carefully follow the map.
Right, you start paddling. Sarah is basically saying it's towards the middle of the swamp. I can't get an exact pinpoint on it. Day suddenly turns to night. Even
When
the stars are visible, like flipping a light switch. And you see a frost gathering on the sides of the canoes.
Where we come from, this is considered not a good sign.
She says, this is not considered a good sign here. To be honest, I would be screaming witchcraft if I didn't know any better.
So is the frost on both canoes?
Yes.
Sort of Bifrost.
It is. Bifrost. Bifrost. Right, I spent a GM Benny because I wanted to mess Bracey up bad. Bracey spent a Benny because a fate point because he was trying to do a reroll unsuccessfully.
I chucked mine in the pot as well.
Awesome. So the sky suddenly turns dark. It's as if it's in the middle of the night. You can even see stars. All of the sun should still be shining. You paddle slowly further on. Sarah presses her hands to her forehead just as it's getting stronger. And then an unnatural mechanical whirring noise.
Oh, God, not these again.
Heard through the fog.
It's that bloody Kraken again.
It sounds kind of like wah, 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 and then it stops. And then it sort of does that again 3 or 4 times.
I will stop paddling and cock my black powder rifle and both of my pistols.
Yeah, Bracey went in the swamp, so his weapons are wet.
I'll hand Bracey my rifle and my spare powder. Did he have it in a horn? Because it should be all right in water.
Oh, yes, of course. Always got the horn.
I've seen that video. It's true.
This sound, have I heard this sound before? This mechanical sound. So is it like a motorboat or something like that?
No, it's weird and sort of electronic, but it's not a sound that you've heard before.
Can I try and unclog my guns and reload them?
You can, but your powder's all wet and sticky.
What, even in the horn?
No,
Well, not
powder.
the one in the horn. That's true. But yeah, you would have to clean your guns out.
Use my rifle. I'll just take the pistols.
And everything's extremely, because you've got broken ribs, everything is extremely difficult for you to do and it's extremely painful. Right. So after that, you hear that noises. A small island suddenly looms out of the fog. It's not more than 12 meters across. Can you please make me clever rolls for spotty things? Right, so we've got 0, 3 2s. Right, those have got a 2. Right, you see a strange metallic flat cylinder. Look, vaguely resembles an amphibious car, about the size of a two-door sports car. It has like fins, propellers, and wheels on it. There are strange alien markings along the side that look like they spell the word video.
What?
And those that rolled a 2, you see a Mohican bent over at the back. There seems to be a hatch that's open, and he seems to be messing about in the back. And you hear what again as it goes off, and then it makes that strange electronic sound.
Reach the canoe and carefully get out, trying not to be noticed.
Right, so stealthy then. So who's been stealthy?
I'll be sneaky.
You're gonna have to go something to beat a 6.
If he looks like he's noticed us, I'll switch tack to waving and going, hello!
Right. This close to the island, Sarah is like hunched down and she's like pressing her fists into her eye sockets, and she's like, it's like screaming in my head. So, are you going to try and point your way out of beating a 6?
Nope, I'm gonna, hello, how are you? Permission to land. And I'll turn around to Bracey, who's behind me, and go, alive.
Right. The Mohican looks up, looks round at you, and he just sort of stares at you.
I'll wave.
I'll very carefully draw a bead on him.
No, wait. I'll put my hand up and go, how? That's definitely racist, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But it was a kids' TV show.
Sarah looks up and she says, "That's Etchemin. Etchemin went missing in the swamp."
Etchemin. I'll get out of the boat.
Right, he holds his hand out and like gestures just to come over.
Right, let's go. Friendly.
Right, so you pull up onto this 12-meter island, yes? All of you,
Yep.
or well, both boats. Sarah's basically unable to move.
We'll leave her in the boat.
Right, so Etchemin takes a couple of steps forward and then like points at something in his hand and like holding it out as if to say, "Look, have a look at this."
Come on, go and have a look.
Right, you step forward. Is everybody getting off the boat other than Sarah? Basically,
I'm sitting in the boat, still drawing a bead on him.
And I've got off the boat, but I'm sort of like keep one hand on the boat as though look as though I'm taking an age to haul it up on the bank.
George, this could be technology that you might be good with.
Yeah, I'm wondering. You said it had like a written video on the side, like that crashed UFO from Area 51 thing.
Really? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. It's like a sleek silver coffin. I don't think I actually uploaded a picture of it, but
has it got any weird antennas on or fins, like our van?
It's got loads of weird antennas and fins on. Right. Also, you go forward. You see in its hand this small black slab, and then it presses it with its thumb. Suddenly, there's a screaming in your ears. Can you please make me a forceful roll? And where was everybody else?
I was still in the canoe.
How many meters away? Because it's a 12-meter island, and he's right on the thing.
So probably 12 meters from him.
Right. Okay, Dave, can you make me a roll as well, please? Right. Earl suddenly collapses to the ground as if poleaxed. There's a noise comes out from this little black key fob thing, and Earl collapses to the ground.
I suppose I collapse as well with a zero.
And indeed, George collapses as well. But it seems it's not a blanket thing, so you could only catch two of you in it. Can you roll me 40 feet, please, George and Earl?
Roll what?
40 feet.
How?
Do you not have a hit location? Right, I'll roll them for you. So Earl is unconscious for this round only. Dave's unconscious for one round. Right, you're not unconscious. Your nervous system screams as if it's on fire. You're paralyzed and you just fall down into the mud.
That's unpleasant.
Right, we're now going to go to initiative as it zaps Earl with some weird thing. Oh, unfortunately, Earl and Dave will go first, but they're busy being unconscious. Earl, you can act next round. Andy, you see these two fall to the ground.
I shall haul my rifle out and shout at the engine.
Okay, you whip your rifle round. Give me a roll.
Just one barrel at a time here, because I've got a feeling that I'm going to need all these.
Bam, 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 bam.
Make it into a good engine.
Right, hang on. What's this on? Forceful?
It is, yes.
Right. Bloody naughtless.
And I apologize for being bleeding hopeless. I had getting pictures off, but I'm just useless. Right, so you roll a 1. And a -3, so you do 4 damage. So that's a minor consequence. So you shoot them. What minor consequence? Where do you shoot them? Leg.
Could I just by chance shoot him in the hand and shout that thing like break it? Not that I was particularly aiming for him, but you know, it would be handy if that happened.
Shot through hand, add. So on your next action, you get a +2 because you get a free invoke on his consequence.
Right.
And then you can spend another fate point to invoke it again for a +4. He's also taking 2 points of stress. You shoot him in the hand, and he drops the little neuralizer thing.
Good.
Next up, we have the engine. The engine steps forward. Right, can you, Andy, as you shall, please make me a forceful roll, because you need to match clever versus forceful.
Well, I can try. Oh, God.
Ow, not good.
Oh, I don't know, bud.
3. So you feel a great psychic pressure between your ears, but you manage to fight it off. The Mannanit gains a +2 for making a draw, but you feel as if it was trying to suck something out of your brain, but you're not sure what. And next up we have Bracy finally.
If he's not careful, he'll be sucking the other 5 little lead balls I've got in this rifle.
Going to be sucking the bloody bullet
he's
from my
welcome to them.
Bakersfield at the minute. I let him have it as I was carefully aiming and drawing a bead on him.
Right, so you can invoke your sniper if you want with some fate points.
I was actually trying not to kill him, but if he's going to be nasty about it.
Yes, I'll invoke Gun Bunny Sniper.
Ouch. Okay, right, so we are going to use... I'm going to take a free +2 for your injury. I haven't used yet. And then I am going to spend a fate point to invoke another +2. That gives me +4s. And I have to try and... right, actually, I can get rid of the turtle for a starter. I've got terrible forceful. I've got +4s on that. So that gives me a 5. So that gives me a 0, Bracy. On you can. Sorry, you were invoking your sniper as well, weren't you, for another +2?
Yep.
Right, so that gives you 2 shifts. So you can absorb that, which is 3 points of stress. Right, the bullet goes into him, but it's a clean through and through. It sort of goes in through one shoulder and goes straight through. And now we deal some damage, deal some cards, because I can do that now. And Earl, you wake up. Dave is still unconscious. You're lying face down in the mud.
I roll over, pull my pistol, and shoot him in the knee, right kneecap.
Right, so let me see what is happening. First up is Andy for this round.
Right, I shall shoot him again. No more, Mr. Nice Scotsman. That's the second barrel.
Oh, I'm just spending my GM fate points. Oh, I'm down to 1 here. This is not good. And
oh, that's really not
wow. I see me rolls it back on point. So that is a 7 shift. I can absorb that just by taking a 6 points consequence. What would you like the severe consequence to be, Andy, and the point of stress?
Blow his ear off.
He's not down, but he's very badly injured. He's swaying, and blood is pumping from his various wounds.
Oh. I was tempted to try and kill him, but on the other hand...
Well, he's not down yet, but he's got a serious 6 point consequence, which again, you get another +2 you can invoke at any time for free, and then you can spend fate points to take his consequence.
I should have invoked me +2 there, shouldn't I?
Yes, I'd have, yes.
Hey?
You should have, yes.
Aye, I shall remember that.
Yeah, I'm not being nice. I'm invoking fate points and aspects and stuff now against you.
No. That's
No
fine.
more Mr. Nice, GM. I'm going to bring the turtle back. Just then, the turtle comes back because he hasn't had enough of Bracy.
I had completely forgotten. Oh, let's have a gut shot right to the liver.
Good shot, yeah. Right. So he manages to take it, but only just he's seriously hurt. He can take 1 4-point consequence left, and he's out of stress. He sways about, blood leaking from his various wounds. And he goes next. Right, Andy, can you roll me a forceful as he again tries to invade your mind?
Right, hang on. I don't suppose you can invoke all these +2s on defence, can you?
In general, you can, yeah.
Right. Oh.
I get 6.
Well, I better add then.
Right, so you can draw even with... Actually, I've got 1 invoke on you, so I can make that an 8. So you can use both of those and then make it a draw.
Right, I'd better do that then.
Right, again, the force invades your mind so strongly that you actually take a step back, clutch at your gun, and you start to shake. And next up we have Bracy. You can see there's something happening. This Indian guy, although he's swaying, he's looking at Andy, and Andy's sort of like staggering back. His face is looking pale. The sweat breaking out on his brow.
Yeah, but you know what he's gone and done now, don't you? He's made me get me foot wet.
That son of a bitch! Bracy, you're up.
Right. I invoke My Life is an 80s action movie. Flip out me the Bowie knife, and with a cry of "stick around," throw it straight at him.
Ha!
Right, go on then. He's
What would that be? Flashy?
Yeah. He's just he's defending forcefully, which means he's just taking it. He's just standing there while you're stabbing him and shooting him and stuff, and he's just doing it badly, is what he's doing. Right, that's enough for a 4-point consequence, Bracy. So he is taken out. So what do you do with the... How does he go down? Is he dead? Have you put the Bowie knife through his eye?
Straight into his neck. Straight through his neck. Drop him dead on the spot.
Right, so this Bowie knife flips end over end, buries itself like in the front, so it goes all the way, sticks in his throat, like
Oh, yes.
to the hilt. The Indian sort of swears, falls to his knees in the mud, and then falls face down dead. Dave wakes up. You've got quite a bad headache. Sarah is still in the boat. She's making noise like,
I go, ow, my head.
I reload Earl's rifle.
okie doke.
I'd better go and have a look at this car, see if we can nick it.
Is that noise still going off, Rich?
The noise was going off when he was fiddling in the back.
Right, but she's still getting this psychic white
Yeah,
noise.
so you
right.
go and look in the back there.
Yep.
Right. Well, the first thing you see is a crystalline globe about the size of a grapefruit, peppered with thousands of tiny apertures. A small control panel is on its base. It's got only 3 finger marks though.
Fucking greys.
Right. The
Can I borrow your Bowie knife? We'll have that out of there.
the body of the Indian, there is like a spirit comes free. It's got a long elongated face. It's got almond shaped black eyes, and it floats free from the body until it stands above it. It looks at you with its unblinking black eyes. It's got small mouth and like slits for nostrils.
Uh-oh.
It looks like an Asgardian from Stargate, doesn't it, Rich?
Kind of, but not exactly.
I point over to the west and go, Roswell's that way.
Right. Andy, you'd move towards the back, so it floats over towards you. I'm going to have some more dealing of cards. Andy gets Joker. You can go whenever you like, plus you get everybody on your side gets a free fate point.
Lovely. Excuse me a moment while I just get that fate point back because I've got a feeling I'm gonna need it.
So you're first, but you can at any point stop and go. Right. So this silvery spiritual or translucent form with its traditional grey, alien grey sort of visage floats towards Andy. It seems to be floating very quickly.
And I'm backing off very quickly.
Bracy, you're up next.
Right. I will get out of the boat. And I'll try and circle around for the opposite way that it's going after Andy. Drawing a bead on it.
Right, okay, you do that. Dave, you pick yourself up out of the mud.
Oh, I'll use my spirit come back from my other character on RuneQuest. I'll try to get tell the lass to fight it back, push back.
Right,
So-
okay.
Somebody put some rounds into the back of this car, will you?
Right, so everybody starts shouting. And not doing any shooties. Right, so Dave's... Oh, Earl?
It looks spirity.
It looks semi-translucent, spirity.
So shooty's probably not going to work. Unless we've got photon beams.
Or Andy just throws one of those inflammable things into the opening of this car thing.
Yeah, I'm circling back round towards the car to do exactly that.
Right, okay.
I will shout. I'll get to my feet and shout, hey.
You shout, hey.
See if it notices.
No, it seems kind of intent on getting hold of Andy, to be honest.
That's just mean.
It is exactly. It's very, very mean.
Is it worth grabbing this bloody thing out of this Indian's hand and trying to use it on it?
What I am going to do is I have finally found the picture. I am going to chuck the picture because it looks great, this car thing. And this should appear on your desktops very shortly.
Oh, hang on.
That is proper cool.
Right, that was the Mohican gentleman who you now shot to death and his body lies on the floor.
So basically, he's stolen Flash Gordon's spaceship. No, Buck Rogers.
Right, so Earl, you're just shouting, trying to gain its attention.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do a clever versus clever test then. Go on. I'll let you have a clever v clever to see if you can draw it off Andy. All right. It turns to face you.
I will give it the Vulcan peace sign and say live long and prosper.
All right. Okay. While you do that, it doesn't need to reach out and touch it. Just almost tangible waves come out from it, as if the air is sort of like vibrating. And can you please make me a forceful roll?
Really bad at forceful.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
I will invoke a point to add 2 to that.
Right, what you doing to mentally resist this?
I will start singing the national anthem in my head.
Right, because no British man can be taken down by a weird, glowy, silver alien.
Not when
Great
he's
thing.
singing the national anthem. Queen won't let him.
Right. Well, I'm going to hang on to my last fate point because I want to mess somebody up bad. So you feel this intense pressure between your ears again. Something's happening in your brain, but you're not sure what, but you're pretty sure it's not good.
Any chance while it's looking at Earl, can I lob a Molotov in that open access hatch?
Yeah, but you can do that at any point because you have the Joker. Right, so Andy lights a Molotov and throws it in through the open access hatch. Go on, make a flashy roll because that's quite a flashy thing to do.
I shall do my best. Hang on. I'm just going to get the character shade up. I'm not very flashy.
I'm sure you were flashier than you were before.
More flashier than Flash Gordon.
But I mean, I'll spend a fate point if I need to.
0 is a mediocre success.
Hang on. I could invoke my... Yes, I could invoke my aspect of Pyromaniac.
You certainly could. Spend a fair point, get that aspect invoked there, son.
I shall do
for
that.
2, which is a fair success. Right, so the Molotov sails into the hatch, bursts into flame. Flames shoot out of the silver shape. The Mannanit screams, but it's not in pain, it's in anger. You do see this weird glass cylinder, and inside is a dark coil, and from the dark coil is like this swirling black essence is coming off it.
Not good.
Right, so now he really wants to kill you.
Well, you could have just asked for our help and we'd have helped you. But no.
God damn it, Earl gets the Joker.
Yeah, everyone have a fate point.
Yeah, everybody have a fair point, except me.
That's the way it should be.
Look at that deal. Joker 5442. So Earl, you can go at any time. Davey, you're up first. This thing screams. There's flames shooting out of the interior of the metal bit, but it doesn't seem to be doing that much damage. It has very much upset the man in it, though.
Can I say this crystal thing?
Yes, it's in the flames bit where Andy's just said that moment.
I walk my quick shot and shoot it with my pistol.
Right, okay.
Quickly.
Go on then, give us a roll.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I get +2, so it's like a 1.
Right, so Dave shoots this psychic coil thing, but it seems to be quite resistant. You take a minor chip out of the glass, but you haven't actually damaged it enough to destroy it. And next up, Andy again. Right, you've got a really angry, weird, insubstantial alien coming at you.
There's no point in trying to shout it, is there?
I don't know.
It looks sort of see-through, ghosty-like, doesn't it?
It does, yes. That was the Mohican fella in that picture. He looks like a weird see-through ghosty alien thing.
Right. No, I'll just keep outpacing this thing for now.
Right. Well, it doesn't need to be in physical contact with you. Again, it assaults you with its mind, and I get a 3 + 2 on you, I believe, for drawing. So let's have a fossil roll.
Right, hang on. Just got to get the character sheet up again.
God damn it! Right, so again, it's moving slowly around this island, it's zapping you with its psychic energy. But a psychic alien can never take down a good Scotsman on a Saturday night.
That's quite right.
Bracer,
Who
you're
can?
up.
Right. Can I move towards this fallen Indian and pick out that thing that he had in his hand?
Yes.
Does it look like it's some sort of like weapon that can be aimed?
It looks like it's a small black oblong device the size of a thumb drive. And it's got sort of slight rippling on either side of it.
Right. Has it got any obvious, like, things that you press, or?
No, the only obvious things is the 2 ripple things on either side.
All right. I'll pick it up and I'll aim it at this spooky spectre thing without getting any of the lads in the way, and I'll try, like, squeezing it.
Right, okay. You squeeze it, and it does work. It lets out a smoky trail generated by the energy field. It's like, sort of waves of force radiate out, and you need to roll here. Right, and overcome with +4 of forceful. Okay, right. So, unfortunately, this has got a much wider thing that it's like a cone shape, shoots out much wider than you thought. Andy, you
Oops.
also have to roll forceful.
Sorry, Andy.
It's not your fault, mate. I won't hold this against you until we're back home and you're pissed. Right, all about. Ow. Ow.
Right. So both the spectral alien and Andy fall to the ground. It doesn't sink through the ground. It doesn't become solid or anything. But it lets out a scream, and they both collapse to the ground. Andy's out for 2 rounds.
So, right, I'll draw a bead on this ghosty thing, and I shout to someone to drag Andy out of the cone range.
Right. Whatever energy it was using, it's definitely worked on it.
You could just stand over it, pointing it down, couldn't you?
I ain't going anywhere near that thing, Dave.
Right. So next up we have Davy. Yes, Davy. Right. The weird, glowing, intangible, silvery thing lies on the floor. Andy lies on the floor.
I drag Andy out of range of this thing.
Right. The island's only 12 meters across, like I said. And you can see the trail of energy, and it seems to be it's the full length of the island. So you can drag him out of the way, but you can't drag him out of range.
I'll drag him out of the way.
Is the boot of this car now on fire?
It was the side panel you threw it in, wasn't it? And
Well, it was the bit that was open.
yeah, the side panels. There's fire coming out of that, but the boot's open with the engine, and there seems to be something in the back, because that's what he was initially bent over.
Go chuck another one in there.
Have a quick skeg first, maybe something important.
I'll shout to George, come and quick, have a look at this.
I'll go and have a look at it then.
Right. So the thing that you were shooting in the side panel was the coil, and in the back was the melon thing, which has wee little holes in it. A crystalline globe the size of a grapefruit, petted with thousands of tiny apertures, with a small control pad.
I will invoke my +2 MacGyver. The fuck this engine right up.
Quick one, Rich. Does this craft look like it's landed or crashed?
It looks like it's crashed. It looks like the actual spirit, the Mannanit, is physical damage. It's not fully substantial. So, Dave, what are you trying to do to the back of this craft?
I'm trying to totally wreck this engine.
Yeah, you can use your. You've got that ability to repair something once a day. You can use that.
All right, I'll
destroy it if you want. Well, not repair it, but you can totally destroy it if you want. You can use our ability.
Yeah, I'll totally wreck the engine.
Right, so you start smashing the engine. You yank two cables. The weed's slippery. They're not like plastic. They feel almost like living, like you're holding two snakes, and there's like electric sparks going off the ends. You know, in a good 50s sci-fi kind of way. So Dave's done that. Andy, you are still unconscious. As Bracey shot you just then. Right, the Mattanit starts to stir Bracey on his turn.
Shoot it again.
Shoot him again.
Right, that's 4. Right, you shoot him again. He makes a forceful resist roll. 1. And again, the silvery form stops moving. Right, so top of the round. Davey with the king. What do you do?
I'm going to point this my rifle at this at the crystal thing and shoot it.
Right, okay. I tell you what, Dave, make us a clever roll. That's a 4. Right. The crystal looking thing with the melon with the little thing, it lets out a hiss and it lets out gas. The gas shoots off and then expands and it gets thicker and thicker as it gets further away and like makes a bigger fog. It thickens the fog around the island. So you guess that that's the fog generation. The other thing that you're trying to shoot at, the black coil, you reckon is some kind of power source because it was plugged in inside that middle bit. It was plugged into the section that looks like it goes into the drives. So it looks like you're trying to shoot the alien power source of whatever type it is.
Could I just pull the alien power source out then?
Yeah, you can just yank it out. It is on fire, so that was Andy's fault.
So wear thick gloves.
Well,
but in general,
in the wet grass and do it quickly.
Right, so you grab the power source. Right, Dave screams. Dave, please make a forceful roll.
Can I spend fate point?
You can spend as whatever you like, Dave. Make a.
All right then.
Right, Dave yanks the glass thing free, screams, and you suddenly feel psychic energies flowing from the coil into your body. You begin to experience vision of a faraway world, a barren planet. 2 moons hang in the sky, one red and one white. A distant dying star struggles to survive. There's a great sort of noise, and the coil, if you can imagine, it was like black sooty stuff with like darkness, like latching off it, it just seems to go inert and turns like a graphite grey. Dave collapses to his knees, and the coil discharges. Right, so Dave's now on his knees. Nice one, Dave. Earl, what are you doing?
I'll go over and check to see how George is.
Right, George has dropped the coil, which is now inert on the floor.
I ain't touching that.
As the Mannanit is now stunned for 2 turns, you've got a little bit of time to do something if you people want to in general. Davey you'll have to like slap him and bring him round to like pull him round. He's wild-eyed. There's a little bit of blood drips out of one eye in the corner of his tear duct, and he seems to be raving somewhat. So what would you like to do? You've got a couple of turns before the silver thing begins to move again. Dave has not so much destroyed as discharged the power supply. It's grounded itself through him.
What the hell is this thing trying to do?
I think we should grab the coil, get everybody back in the boats, and leg it. And then, if we ring for the taxi and go home, and we'll take the coil with us as a present for Q Branch's what's his face thingy, him.
Yeah,
Right.
let's try that. That's a plan. I like plans.
Because we only had to find out what was going on. Nobody said nothing about, capturing spectral aliens and stuff.
There's also that melon thing that seems to be doing the fog, which is in the boot.
Let's do them both.
Well, if we've got time, we'll crowbar that out. No.
Right, well, that's not attached to anything, so you can pull that out. It seems to be some weird kind of alien technology. Bracey, as it starts to move again, I assume you zap it again?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to move for a little while. Certainly for enough time for you to roar and leave the spectral thing. Sarah has stopped screaming and holding that thing. The instant that Dave discharges the coil, she seems to come to her senses. And she says, what in the name of God is that thing?
Probably
the noise is gone. It's just as if it was turned off by a switch.
Funnily enough, it was. I pat Dave on the shoulder and go, make the switch.
Right, so you lout into the boat and bugger off sharpish like. Is that correct? Yeah. As you paddle off.
Yep. Just
as you get far away before the fog, because the little globe thing keeps letting out hisses of some kind of chemical fog that keeps thickening the fog. Just as it goes out of view, you see the spirit gets up, howls, and then runs over and then starts diving into the ship, into the bit that you set on fire, and into the boot where you broke it, and then it fades off into the fog. Right, so you paddle off safely, you get out of the swamp, and you finally get back to dry land. What do we do now then?
Call for a taxi.
Yeah.
Is Sarah coming back with us?
Yes, because she really has nowhere else to go around here now.
Fair enough. Well, shall I call a cab, lads?
Yeah, let's make sure we're in a nice wide open area.
Right, so you twist it, you press it twice. About 10 minutes later, there's a pop. The van pops back into existence. The bits that were sparking look to have been repaired. The bent bit on the bottom seems to have been repaired as well. There's a note. There's like a post-it note stuck on the outside, basically saying, "You're not fucking funny. Please try and not bend my fucking van."
I'm almost tempted to write another note saying, "Oh yes, we are," and send it back.
No, because we'll not send the thing back for us next time.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Right, Bracy, you've still got that little black oblong thing. Davey grabbed the what's it? The coil that he discharged into himself. And Andy, did you have the watermelon-y thing that keeps going? It keeps going tss, every now and again, and like spitting fog out, and then there's thick fog around you. It's it makes it kind of hard to walk because you're just like walking along and it'll go tss, and then all of a sudden you're blanketed in thick fog.
Oh, we're going to have a whale of a time with that at the Christmas party.
So, all right, the Uber ride arrives, and basically it's there for you. It looks like all of the damage has been repaired.
Probably best for head back reporting.
Yeah.
Somehow we'll end up getting in trouble, I'm sure.
I'm sure that was not your fault. I mean, who could have possibly thought that that would be your fault, eh?
You do get the blame for absolutely everything.
Right, you jump in the van. You say, Sarah, strap in because it's always been great.
Last time it didn't land well.
And then again, Andy, you just have the big red button that says go.
And I should press the big red button.
Right, bam! You hit the thing. There's like stretching. Yeah. And then there's a little spark and a puff of smoke, and you spiral off into the universe. And there's a loud pop, and you return, but you're not at 0-0. You're in somewhere else, and that is where we will end it. You're like, where the fuck are we now?
In space.